prevents the government from setting up or establishing any official religion of the country.
And when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified.
Once you give him the book, you're under arrest.
What have I done wrong, sir?
You're not allowed. Hands behind your back.
Folks, this is what the United States is coming to.
You can preach on
You can
your
stand here and talk
own
about
property.
anything
you want, but
Stops the government from making any laws that might stop us from saying what we think or feel.
You're not allowed to have free expression or free speech in the memorial to Thomas Jefferson, the champion of free speech.
We're touching each other. So we're stopping. We're stopping. We're stopping. You are not arresting us for standing
For
here.
what? Here it is.
You didn't even give me a warning.
Dancing in a public area.
You didn't even give me a warning.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave our friends behind. Because if cops don't dance, and if they don't dance with it, no friends of mine.
Sergeant, I don't even know what the sergeant is. Can't you talk to me?
What's my arm? What's my arm? Don't. I got a bat. I got a broken shoulder. I've got a... Sir, this is your last warning.
Citizens have the right to come together in private and public gatherings.
Ayusin natin ang ating mga hanay! Mga kapulisan!
Citizens have the right to get information from different sources of information.
And one of his tweets was this: "It is not freedom of the press when newspapers and others are allowed to say and write whatever they want, even if it is completely false."
Citizens can ask for adjustments or changes in the government.
Obviously, in these tough times, if you're disagreeing with President Obama, you're obviously a racist of some kind. So we're gonna, we're gonna repeal their First Amendment. In these tough times, they don't really have that right, I don't think. This will repeal the First Amendment so that those right-wingers can't say hateful things about Obama. I'm tired of these people having the right to say what they want to say. You disagree, you don't have the right to disagree with Obama these days in these tough times.
Yeah.
So thank you for helping to support repealing the First Amendment.
No worries, man.
Thanks, bro. We're doing what we can to take that amendment away. How is this so easy?
U.S. citizens have the right to keep and bear arms.
You need to go somewhere and get your gun covered up.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, it's real simple. Go do it.
And your name?
John Mosier.
John Mosier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Well,
what?
I mean, if you got your permission to have the gun, you're not going to be down here scaring people carrying your gun around like that.
Well, I'm not trying to scare anybody.
Well, but you are. You're scaring people.
How's that?
They're scared. People keep coming up to us and saying, "There's a guy down there with a gun."
Well, what about your gun?
Well, it might be a little different.
How's it different?
Because I have to be in uniform and people don't get scared.
I don't understand why. I mean, we both have legal right to carry a firearm.
That may be.
The government may not force U.S. citizens to shelter soldiers in their homes.
Anthony Mitchell lived next door to some individuals that were involved in committing domestic violence. The police basically called him up and said, "Hey, listen, we need to use your house so we can catch this guy who's beating his wife or engaging in domestic violence." When Anthony Mitchell refused, the police said, "All right, fine." They tore his door down with a metal ram, and armed guys came in and basically took his house over for this investigation. And when he still refused to give them his house, they went down the street to his father's house and then did the same thing there. And both Anthony and his father has been arrested for obstructing justice.
U.S. citizens are protected from unreasonable searches of a person's property.
So the officer confiscates Picard's camera, as we saw. Does not know it's still recording. Let's take a listen to what happens next.
Backup with multiple people coming. They didn't want to stay. They took their own.
Good. So not only do the officers appear to be making up charges, they're also apparently making up witness statements to back them up. The Connecticut Supreme Court dismissed the trumped-up criminal charges against Picard, but now Picard and the ACLU have 3 real charges of their own: violating Picard's First Amendment right to use his camera, violating his Fourth Amendment right against warrantless seizure for taking his camera, and retaliation against Picard for his expression, another First Amendment right.
The government may not force citizens to testify against themselves in court. No double jeopardy, dual process of law.
So is there some reason you don't want to give me your ID?
I can sense no conversation.
Do you live in this area? Do you live in this area of Stevens Square, Franklin Nicollet area? Okay, as you can see, my sergeant is just arriving. You can continue to videotape this entire conversation. But as I've explained to you, I need to see your ID. Are you going to comply now?
Hi, sir.
Citizens have the right to a fair and speedy trial, to be informed of the charges, and the right to confront witnesses.
Oh, I haven't made a plea yet.
No, I understand for you. Not guilty.
I haven't entered a plea yet. I need some more questions.
The state of Texas automatically enters the law.
Only I can enter a plea. I'm sorry.
No, that's incorrect, actually.
Are you denying me the right to enter a plea?
Yeah, sure.
You are?
Sure.
Can I have that in writing?
No, that's all right. We'll go ahead and set up for a trial date and make a notification.
I haven't made a plea yet.
State of Texas, if you don't make a plea...
I want to make a plea.
Okay, what's your plea?
I want to find out the nature and cause of the charges.
I'll give you a chance to make a plea. You chose not to.
When did I do that, sir?
U.S. citizens have the right to a trial by jury.
If my colleagues wish to pretend that the 7th Amendment of the United States Constitution, guaranteeing a trial by jury, was somehow omitted from the Bill of Rights, I disagree, but so be it. The very least we can do is ensure that if a doctor intentionally abuses his patients, that he will not evade justice. Surely, the sponsors of this bill did not intend to extend liability caps to a pediatrician who sexually abused a child, or a dentist who raped his patients under sedation. I'm disgusted to say that those are both real examples of the kind of abhorrent behavior H.R. 5 may mistakenly immunize without clarification.
U.S. citizens are protected from cruel and unusual punishment.
And we want to put you on notice regarding the ongoing violations of the constitutional rights of people who are experiencing homelessness in Multnomah County, and in particular, the 8th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishments. The U.S. Department of Justice on August 6, 2015, authored a statement of interest of the United States in Bell v. Boise, challenging a criminalization statute in Boise. The Justice Department states that if shelter space is unavailable in a jurisdiction to meet the specific needs of the homeless population, that criminalizing basic human acts such as sitting, lying, or sleeping amount to criminalization of a status, and as such are cruel and unusual punishments under the 8th Amendment to the federal Constitution.
Citizens may have rights that are not listed in the Constitution.
You hear that? We have a kid having fun.
Oh, no way, man. We gotta put a stop to that.
What's the problem, man?
Dude, you're not allowed to have fun, man.
I'm just shooting hoops.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Dude, that's my ball. Dude.
Powers not given to the federal government by the U.S. Constitution belong to the state or to the people.
In Georgia, efforts are already underway to keep the government out of health care. A group of Republican state senators argues that it would violate the 10th Amendment, which limits the federal government's powers. So they want to amend the state's constitution to protect Georgia from being forced to participate in any federal health reform.